Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for carving time out this morning to join us for our today's tech session with Itero Group. We have quite a group of team members with us this morning, and we're thankful that they carved time out to spend with us this morning. My name is Alexis Gossick. I'm with the Technology Council of Central PA, and I appreciate you being here this morning. We do have a short schedule this morning, short time slot, so I do want to be mindful of everybody's time. If you just joined us, if you could drop your intro into the chat, that would be super helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Weston to kick us off today and get us started.
Thanks, Alexis. Good morning, everyone. Weston Miller. I see some familiar faces out there, so appreciate you guys spending some time this morning. Really wanted to open things off with, we'd like this for this to be an engaging discussion. So if you guys have questions as we're moving through some of the content and some of the slides, please don't hesitate to stop us and ask. So moving right into things, we do have a tight schedule. We are Itero Group. My name is Weston. I've been with Itero for just a couple months, senior account executive based locally here in Harrisburg. Rob, you want to jump over intro?
Sure. Rob Boros, Senior Director of Client Delivery, based out of the Pittsburgh area.
Hi,
Amie?
I'm Amie Carabetta, VP of Client Services. I split time between Florida and DC.
Awesome. Thanks, Amie. Jason, here we go. So just a little bit about Itero Group. Some of you know we are based locally here in New Cumberland. We also have a site down in Tyson's Corner just outside of DC. So support a lot of customers in the central Pennsylvania and greater Northeast region. But getting to know us, right? We're consultants for commercial and government organizations to help solve problems and become more data-driven through digital transformation. So really what that means is we take a consultative approach to come in and holistically look at the environment and help you solve problems, getting to know you better, and then bringing some of our past expertise to the table. We're a certified women-owned small business. We have, like I mentioned, offices in New Cumberland and McLean, and we focus on client satisfaction through pragmatic transformation. I think what you'll find about us is we're very approachable. We like to come in and lock arms and really lift the hood with you a little bit, right? And understand where the business is going and how we can help to deliver value through partnership. So that's a little bit about Itero. I'm going to turn things over to Amie to walk through some customer. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. One more slide here. So this is the breakdown of all of our offerings. So we have an artificial intelligence offering really around assessing your environment and helping you make the transition to an AI-focused methodology. We were formed on Agile. So as you are moving through Agile, big A, little a, increasing your agility, we can bring teams and programs to the table to help you through those transitions. We have more core offerings in program, project, portfolio, and product management as you're optimizing your PMO strategy and getting towards a product mindset. Process improvement, outsource testing, and innovation as a service are additional offerings that we can help to deliver. Right now, I believe we're going to switch over to Amie here to walk us through a couple customer solutions.
Yeah, hi, like I said, my name is Amie, VP of Client Services. I always like to start out with a fun fact when I'm meeting new people, and I see lots of new faces on the meeting here today. And so I like Disney. I like to run. So 2 years ago, I ran the Disney Marathon wearing light up Mickey Mouse ears. Within seconds of the finish line, another runner in a full Mickey Mouse costume blew by me and finished ahead of me. Needless to say, it was a humbling experience, and I unfortunately do not have the ears with me today unless I'd be wearing them for this meeting. As a part of Itero's client services team, I work closely with new and existing customers. Last December, I was on site with one of our large financial services clients, along with a few of our agile delivery consultants. We were delivering a safe training and a PI planning workshop. During the workshop, one of the tech leads was brave enough to raise their hand and asked how they were going to resolve resourcing issues when they were committed to delivering 2 products to 3 different executives. The tech lead went on to say he did not understand how he could be successful. we, the Itero team, made a recommendation of a product-centric approach, which would provide the discipline and the focus, ensuring the right features and functionality would be delivered at the right time. The dialogue continued. The client tech lead now stood up in the room and said, how was he to satisfy 3 client executives without the resources and capacity to deliver? At that moment, that tech lead was staring down imminent failure. You could have heard a pin drop in the room. One of the executives got up from his seat and walked up in front of the 150 people and said he was committed to a product-centric model/approach. And the other 2 executives joined him from the back of the room and came up front. And all 3 of those executives high-fived the room and one another. It was amazing to see the excitement and the energy in the room, watching people rally around a unified strategy. So what is the net of this? This created increased morale from the business and the technical team, which supported the expedited delivery of a quality product. Another just real quick client experience, 2 executives from a longtime customer, both almost simultaneously started texting and reaching out to me via the phone. They wanted to discuss how they could leverage Itero's expertise in providing them with an AI prototype related to providing their customer with the right answers to very complex questions. We quickly engaged with boots on the ground and got the job done by meeting aggressive delivery timelines within budget. In the end, a win-win for both the customer and Itero. The product met and exceeded the needs of the client by reducing operational costs and providing their customers with exemplary customer service. So I'm going to turn it back over to Rob now. If you have any questions about those case studies, happy to schedule time as a team to meet with you all. Rob?
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, so when we talk about digital transformation, the theme of 2023 and 2024 has been around AI. And, if you look back in history, we've had, over the last 2 decades, there have been a lot of major updates to AI-related technologies, things like NLP, machine learning, computer vision, so on and so forth, self-driving cars, robots. There's a variety of things, but the theme today is more around large language models, an approach that's targeted towards generative AI. And these tools, which were primarily only available to your Fortune 10 companies with billions of dollars in capital that could invest in some of these technologies, they're now available to everybody. So, the large language model has democratized AI and really put AI in the hands of every individual, every employee, and every business. And it's a little to no cost. So with most leaders targeting an AI solution, many of them don't know where to start. And so what we're seeing as we engage with a number of our clients and potential customers is that it's really no different than any other technology adoption. The things that you're going to need to do: project management, product development, QA, you're going to need performance measures, change management, communication and collaboration. You're going to need to figure out your resource allocation. These are all fundamental to any digital transformation. And I think that that's what's really important. And we need to take this scary AI thing down to the basics so that you can understand what it is. Now, we typically start with ensuring that an organization is ready for AI adoption. And what does that mean? Well, AI adoption is going to require things like having your data organized. So taking data from being a very unstructured format to some type of structured format where you can train AI tools to use your data effectively. At Itero, we have three primary offerings for AI. The first one is an AI assessment, where we would come in and we would look at your organization. We would talk to your leaders. Are your leaders ready for change? Does your organization have an appetite for change? Do you have the right resources and training plans in place? Do you have the right data and technology available to your organization in a useful way? What is your current product development plan or program development plan? Then we go into the AI workshops, and the AI workshop is it's an ideation session. It's a very immersive engagement where we would sit and work with you directly to identify all of the AI related ideas that you may have. Then we'll work to prioritize those ideas and understand what's the value of executing one of these AI related initiatives. Is there risk involved? We'll look at risk and ROI and a number of different ways to measure these. The last offering is an AI accelerator, and the accelerator program is really just putting boots on the ground. It's an Itero group of resources who are technically capable of delivering one of these solutions where your team may not have the resources or the capacity to implement an AI project. So what does that actually look like when we go to develop a new AI initiative within an organization? Jason, if you'd go to the next slide. The plan is very, very similar to every other initiative that you've ever gone through. There's a planning phase where you're going to look at, and ensure that you have a clear vision and objectives. You have stakeholder support and buy-in, risk assessment and management, resource allocation. These are all things that you would do with any other project, right? Any other technology, whether you are standing up an ERP or a CRM or, introducing a new SaaS software to a group of individuals within your organization. The preparation phase, look at your change management. Are you ready for process improvement? Have you documented your current processes? Then you go into an implementation phase, the technology integration. You do testing, you do training and support. You of course go into monitoring phase where you're evaluating how well the implementation went, and you're looking for feedback mechanisms and then starting to plan your scalability of that new technology. These are things that you guys have already done probably countless times within your organizations. Adding AI as a technology is no different than some of those others. And so that's kind of how we break it down. We bring it back to the fundamentals, and that's where Itero has been really successful in a number of other digital transformations. Don't let AI scare you away from starting something new. With that, I think we'll open it up to some questions. All right, so we've pre-populated some of the most common questions that we get. And so let's talk through some of these. So how are small or mid-sized companies approaching AI integration? There are a number of ways. A lot of the questions right now are, how do I monetize AI and where can I get value back out of AI? And so with the democratization of some of these tools, you can pick up a per user license for roughly, $20 or $30 a month. And then, what do I do with that tool? Well, you're going to get a couple of benefits out of spending that $30 per employee. You're going to get improved efficiency. You're going to get maybe some higher quality work. You're also going to get better job satisfaction and employee retention, which are really, really important. As far as the integration goes, many of the companies, smaller mid-sized companies right now, they're selecting the off-the-shelf tools that are available, which is like a Chat GPT or a Microsoft Copilot, for example. A lot of these tools are being integrated into the back office or organizational units that keep the business running. It's the HR teams, the accounting teams, it's the finance. There are a lot of efficiencies being gained from those integrations with those teams. I think there was a question that popped up in the chat. I can't see it, but
what are the risks that come with AI and how to manage them, if any?
Sure. So there are a lot of risks with AI, of course. A number of them are mitigated by having, an update to your existing security policies and looking at your data structure, your data policies, your access rights. So one of the largest concerns in 2024 for AI around risk is internal espionage, right? It's giving access to individuals more data than they need within your organization. While it's unfortunate that that's a real scenario, it is how it works. So what can you do? The first thing that you can do is, again, go back to your security policies and make sure that you're updating them appropriately so that your technology teams can set up your tools in a way in which individuals only have access to the data and knowledge that they need. For example, Microsoft Copilot runs off of, it's interconnected with your SharePoint and in your Teams drives. If you set up your permissioning appropriately and you launch your Copilot appropriately, each individual will only have access to the files that you have granted them access to. And so the large language model, while it's trained to do a number of things, the proprietary company information is only available to the user. And to go a little bit deeper there, I'll use Outlook as an example. If I am trying to do something with Microsoft Copilot and I'm searching for information, and I ask Copilot to execute a function, it's going to look at my personal Outlook inbox, but it's never going to look at Weston's. And it's set up that way on purpose to prevent some of these risks. Not all AI tools are built the same. And so you have to evaluate each of the AI tools individually and then compare that to your data strategy and your corporate security policies.
Another question here. So are you seeing companies that need assistance turning off or blocking AI capabilities that vendors are increasingly building into solutions? Great question, Brett.
Sure. So again, this comes back to being prepared for AI. And the reality is AI is here. It's here today, and it's not going away. And so the best thing that your organization can do is become AI ready. And what does that mean? It's the again, same points, but it's security and data policies and ensuring that your organization is set up technically to be able to leverage these tools. There aren't many scenarios that I can think of where you would want to limit tools that make your employees more effective. And so instead of trying to limit or fight the AI fight, enable them and spend the time and spend the investment on making sure that these third-party tools, whether, everything from Salesforce to, what are some of the other ones that we're seeing? So Salesforce, they have an AI tool that is pretty popular. And then ServiceNow is coming out with some AI integrations. A lot of companies have
I mean,
what's
it's all the big platforms. And
correct.
the example I used earlier in this conversation, they're a small, medium-sized firm, and they are still on their journey from getting ready really for AI. They've transformed as an organization over the past 9 years. But what we encouraged them to do was just start with something. Just start with something that maybe is in an isolated area of your business so that you can get a small win. Because just like any other program or system, then you can highlight that across your organization. Because like Rob said, AI is here. And employees, just as their own experience, want to be able to grow and use and learn. And so not only is it going to drive efficiency for your organization, but it's going to change the employee experience as well.
Yeah, one of the other great things that you can do to reduce your risk as an organization is really start to train your employees on AI and AI technologies, how they work, what the risks are, what the benefits are, and then create process around how to use it, when it can be used, when you don't want it to be used. There are tools that I use all the time, and I would love to just copy and paste and say, go, but it might have, client sensitive information in it. And I don't want the AI tool to have or use or ingest any of that client sensitive information. And so there's an intermediate step I take where I'll paste the thing into a Word document, and then I'll strip out all of the client sensitive information, and then I'll, then drop it into the tool so that there's less risk of anything getting out into a broader market or being exposed to an area or group that it shouldn't be. So some basic training things and some process in place really go a long way to reduce risk.
Kind of to the turning off or blocking AI capabilities, I think it's a very similar conversation that we've seen probably going back to 18 months ago from a security standpoint, right? It's really understanding not just the products and services that your vendors offer, but really vetting them from a back end, right? A lot of people were being hacked through third-party vulnerabilities that were not a part of the initial conversation. So I think what I would encourage there is really, having a deeper dive with those vendors. Hey, tell us about, if any, are there AI components and what impact does that have to my business? Just to ensure that there isn't sensitive data, right, that is being leaked through some of those integrations. So we probably have time for one last question here, Rob. We did have a little bit of a bolt-on from the earlier question. Are there data integrity metrics that can be implemented with AI?
Yeah, I mean, there have been metrics around data for decades, right? There are a number of methodologies that you can use to monitor your data and track your data and measure your data and who's accessing data and how they're accessing it. And that it starts with strong data policies, strong technology architecture, and ensuring that you're technically capable of monitoring and reviewing and securing your data. So yeah, there are a number of things that you can do there.
Questions out there, guys? Jason, maybe want to take us through one more?
Yeah, so where are companies focusing their AI investments? Depending on the size of the organization, investments are going a number of different ways, but most small and medium-sized companies, they are starting to adopt some of the bolt-on AI technologies within software that they already have in place. And so if you are an organization that's leveraging Salesforce, maybe you add on that additional functionality, or you turn on the functionality that's built into the software that's already in place. It's the lowest cost, most effective way to get started. Again, you need to make sure that you're doing the prep work to ensure that your data is secure and that your policies and your planning and strategy and processes is done. But many companies are just starting with the low cost investments. Other things like Microsoft, most businesses are Microsoft enabled, and Microsoft Copilot is now available to just about everybody. And that's a pretty low cost way to get started with some AI functionalities. A lot of these tools are still new, so limit your expectations to what they can really do for you. But they are progressing quickly, and I think that you will see big returns on your investment in the form of efficiencies and larger margins within your teams.
Many last minute questions. I saw Alexis pop on back there, so we're down to our time. All right. If not, just want to take a moment to thank you guys again for attending this morning. If you have any additional questions, we would love to hop on as a team, right, and chat through things. Always here to help. But thank you again. It was great seeing everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you.
Thursday.
Appreciate your time.